There we go.
There we go.
Hmm.
Hello, everyone. I am so sorry we're running a little late today. Well, I'm running a little late. It's my fault. It's been one of those weeks. Crazy. I've had a crazy week. And so thanks for joining us. Yeah.
Mm.
So, so I'm Ellie at English Fun Zone, as you know, and also joining with me, Brad. Hi, Brad. How are you today?
Hello, I am fine. How are you?
I'm
Or
running
or or
behind today.
reflecting on our topic, sup.
Sup?
Mm.
Not much.
Word.
um, yeah, so today we're going to be talking about slang.
Hmm.
Now, my channel is mainly American English, but today we're going to be talking a little bit about British slang because we have some viewers that live in the UK, right?
I believe. I guess so.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know your demographics, Ellie. I'll take your word for it.
well, we got a few add-ons to our PPT, and they're
Hmm.
British English, so
Okay.
I'm assuming they live in England.
Ah.
Yeah. All right, let's look at some slang terms. Let's look at the screen in five, four, three, two, one. There we go. Boom. There it
Yes.
is.
Very
Boom.
very
There it
happy.
is.
Of course.
Okay, so uh, here we have British English versus American English. Now, I don't know about you. What do you tell your students about when to use slang or how to use slang?
That's a
What's your
good question.
recommendation?
It's actually never come up before with me. But uh, as a teacher, I usually try to avoid it unless the student is like B2 C1.
Mhm.
And if they're not, I usually try to explain the idiom or the slang as I'm talking, right? So I'd say
Mhm.
something like, "Oh, you get along like a house on fire," or "You get along very well." So,
Okay. I tell my students that there is a lot of slang and slang changes.
yep.
We add to the list and some things die out
Mm-hmm.
and that they should choose slang that one they can remember, two that they can use properly, and not to use slang all the time because we
Yes.
don't speak in slang all the time. We use it to make a point, maybe to be funny. If you
Mm-hmm.
want to add something and come off as ha ha ha. So today, we're going to show you some. We're going to show you some examples and how to use it and how you can bring it into your next conversation. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's what we're going to do. Now, this is British English versus American English. So, what I tried to do now, if you're living in England or the UK, Ireland, Scotland,
Mm-hmm.
wherever, Wales, uh, and if you disagree with something, let me know. But what I tried to do here is that I got a list from someone. Thank you for sending the list of terms used in the UK. And what I tried to do is tried to find an American slang equivalent, something that would be similar to what they say in the UK. So now I'm not sure how to pronounce. Is it? Would you say culchi?
I've never heard of this term
I
before.
never heard of this either. Culchi,
Bogger,
bogger.
I have,
Mm.
but Culchi, no.
Culchi. I would think it's pronounced culchi.
Okay.
Bogger. I have heard, but yeah, it's someone who lives in the countryside.
Mm-hmm.
And it's used by city slickers. Like she's a bogger. We would say he's a country boy or country girl.
Yeah,
Yeah, or
and
they.
the reverse would be city slicker.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm going to add that here to our PPT. Um, he's a city, whoops, slicker.
Yep.
Mhm. They live in the boonies.
Hmm.
There's another one. Or boondocks. I don't know.
Yep.
Do you say boondocks or do you say boonies?
I mean, these days I usually connect Boondocks with the animated series and the comic. But I remember saying Boonies a lot. Boonies seemed
Yeah,
more common to me.
yeah, me too. I kind of grew up in the countryside. I wasn't a city. I still, I guess, I'm not a city slicker. Um, I don't live in the boonies, but I would say I am a country girl.
Well,
What about
uh,
you? Are you a city slicker or a country boy?
I consider myself the former, but I'm probably technically the latter. Because I live in Prague and I consider myself from New York, but I was born and raised in southern Maine. But
Mm,
I didn't like living there. I didn't like being there, so I don't really consider myself a country boy. Definitely not.
okay. Yeah, I've never lived in a big city. I've always lived outside, like on the outskirts. Even when I lived in Prague, I
That's why.
lived in a suburb.
Oh, okay, really? All right.
Yeah, I didn't live in the city. I lived, well, in Prague 6 actually.
Okay, yeah. I've except for a brief stay with my parents between New York and Prague, I've lived in a city since the fall of 2007.
Hmm.
Oh,
Do you like living in a city?
yes.
Yeah. Why?
It's easier to get around. It's easier to just be your own person. It's easier to have access to things. And at least in terms of car travel, it's cheaper because it's just mass transit or I can walk somewhere. Now, of
Mm-hmm.
course, that's offset by everything else, but I do. I just prefer living in a city. It's just more what I need from life.
Mm-hmm. I don't like living in the boonies.
Hmm.
It's too far away from everything, and I find that boring, or I find that it would be boring. I think it would be too isolated from friends and things that that happen
Yeah,
in a city. I
yeah,
like living outside or on the outskirts of a city because I'm close enough to get to the city and do things like go to the theater or a club or an event. And living on the outskirts, I'm still kind of in an area where there's things that are happening, and it's
mm.
like busy. There's things to do,
Yeah.
but
But you're not.
not all of the chaos.
Right.
without all
You're
the
not.
without all the tourists and the chaos that happens within a city.
Yeah, but I mean, both where I lived in New York and where I live in Prague, I wasn't really dealing with tourists because it was
Hmm.
like, although I lived in Manhattan, but I was up in Harlem, so you didn't really get many tourists where I was living. In Prague, again, you might get people on their way to Vyšehrad, but it's pretty sedate, pretty calm. Um, but you weren't living, you're not living near Stockholm, right?
No, no,
Yeah,
I'm outside of Gothenburg.
right.
Okay, next one.
Yes.
This one I have heard quite a bit. Fair play. I've heard people from the UK say, "Oh, fair play." I think the American equivalent is cool beans.
Okay.
Yay, cool beans.
Oh yeah,
Well done.
yeah. I mean, I don't really use either. So
Like, can you think of another slang term that means well done? I sort of struggled with that.
epic, boss.
Epic.
That was boss. I've heard that one a couple of times.
Okay. Epic. I like that one.
That was
That's
epic.
epic. That's epic.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I was thinking cool beans when someone says, I accomplished something. You say, "Oh yeah, cool beans." Like, great job. Well done.
Nah, I just say well done.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I mean, it might be a regional thing, and of course, like the regions are all over the place, right? There's a YouTuber I like named Hugbees, and he did a whole video about regional dialects and expressions. And I think he said he was born and raised in Florida, but the quiz he took said he was from Texas, a place that he has never been before. And also, like some of the slang he was saying was like, yeah, that's how I would say it, or that's what I would say it. So
Uh-huh.
if you'd like, I'll attach the link
The
to your
link.
chat. Yeah, just be aware that it might be a little more risque adult because
Okay.
he is a YouTube comedian.
Okay. And that's right. As you said, there are terms and things that are said in different parts of the US. I did a short on slang and used the example, it's a Florida Happy Meal. So in Florida, they say, oh, it's a Florida Happy Meal. And I never heard of that.
Me neither. I know
And
Florida man.
yeah, the Florida man. um,
At least students look up Florida man and your birthday, the month and the day. Magic will happen. That's all I'll say.
so they're going to Google, say that again, they're going to Google Florida man.
Florida man and the month and the day. So like Florida man, April 20 for myself.
Okay, so their birthday. So
It's
Google.
any day, but I usually tell them start with your birthday, and
Okay,
magic will happen.
okay. I'll post that in the description box below if you want to try that. Yeah. But going back to a Florida Happy Meal, that just means uh, beer and, well, something adults might smoke.
Oh,
It's not,
oh, that. Well, I mean,
that's that's
beer
kind
is
of legal in some states, but not all states, I guess.
beer is part of the Czech Happy Meal, as I call it, because it's like beer
Right.
sold at McDonald's.
It's funny.
My father was very fond of beer, and when they visited, the first thing he asked me is there beer where we're going for dinner? And I said, Dad, they even have beer at McDonald's. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
Yoke. This
Mm.
is often used as an expression for a thing people aren't sure what it is.
Mm.
Like what's the,
I would.
what's the yoke? What's the yoke?
I've never heard this one. I would say doohickey.
Doohickey.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's another one. Doohickey. I was
Yep.
thinking thingamajig. I grew up with thingamajig or thingamabob, but doohickey's another
Yeah.
one.
I mean, I heard all three.
Yeah, doohickey.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so a doohickey is, you know, the name of it, you
Yep.
know what it is, but maybe it slipped your mind, or if you're trying to you say it quickly, give me that thingamabob, or give me that doohickey, right? Um, so that's how we would use that. Like it's kind of a filler word. Like we know
Mm.
what it is, but it's just it's not on the tip of your tongue. um, where's the doohickey?
Mm-hmm.
Am I spelling that right? Question mark. Where's the
I
doohickey?
think that's how it's spelled. Yeah.
Yeah, doohickey. That's how I would spell it. Um, yeah, and where this comes from, I have no idea. Where this term comes from?
Let's see.
Something to Google. Where does the term doohickey come from?
Well, let's see.
He's
Doohickey
Googling it.
etymology, history of the word. It is an early 20th century slang from servicemen. It is a blend of doodad and hickey.
Yeah, but a hickey is a kiss that people might give someone on their neck.
Okay, well, since when has English ever made sense?
I have no idea.
But North American, it also means a gadget.
Ah,
Like,
right,
yeah,
right.
I would agree that if
Doohickey.
you asked me what does hickey mean, I would think about the impact on the body. But
Impact on the body.
Well, I mean, remember, I also did invent the word vuvuvi. Maybe we could get that to mean something. That give me the vuvuvi now. Um,
No, I,
but yeah,
for students that don't know what a hickey is, you're too young to be watching this video or this live stream.
maybe.
Oh yeah, that the kiss that's given here, where they,
Mhm.
well, Google it.
I
That'd be an
remember. I
interesting.
remember a joke about hickeys on a kids' cartoon. So let's just say that.
Ah,
Looking
yikes.
back, I'm very surprised at what kids' cartoons got away with when I was a kid.
I know, I know. I was watching Fred Flintstone trying to, I try to look for cartoons for kids to watch because I mainly teach
Mhm.
children. And they live in Taiwan and China where they don't get a lot of old cartoons. And I thought, wow, I grew up on Flintstones. And I couldn't believe some of the stuff that was sad. And I would have
What?
to explain it to
Yeah.
the kids. What does that mean? Because they're going to ask. And I was thinking, I can't.
Oh no, no, yeah, no. I mean, one kid's cartoon. I remember Rocco's Modern Life. There
Oh,
was.
love that cartoon.
Me too. Me too. It's probably part of the reason why I like surrealist, absurdist humor. That and Monty Python, but they had some jokes there that
Yeah.
like went right over my head. And I was watching the episode as a teenager or when I was living in New York, and I went because
They
I
said,
couldn't
what?
believe that. Yeah, I mean, I can't say the one I'm thinking of right now. It's definitely too adult, but I was kind of surprised at what they got away with.
Well, I had my mind blown. I was reviewing the Flintstones, and they had a Christmas episode.
Mhm.
What's wrong with that? Christmas, Flintstones, Stone Age.
Yep. Well, that would just be me like being, like, oh, okay, that doesn't make any logical sense. That wouldn't be me going like what I'm thinking of with the Flintstone with Rocco. Um, but no, no, they did tons of Christmas specials with this with the
I
Flintstones.
know, but
I just kind of was like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. But then again, dinosaurs are living with humans, so I guess
yeah.
we don't care anyway. How
All
about
right, let's
similar?
look at the next one. Okay, good. Here's a next slide.
Yes.
Okay, so we have scoops means pints or drinks in general, like fancy going for a few scoops. So if you hear that, if you're in the UK and you hear that, it means for drinks or pints. Um, I in the US, what's your poison?
Yep.
Okay,
I've heard
what's your poison?
everything else except scoops.
Scoops. Yeah, well,
If
yeah,
if you said let's go for some scoops, I assume we're going for ice cream. So
right. And I probably should clarify that this one is the British English one.
mm,
um, yeah. So, what's your poison? What do you want to drink? What's your poison? We have booze, hooch, spirits, poison, and liquid courage.
mhm.
Those are all slang terms for
Yep.
alcohol. Um, in the UK, they actually have a brand called Hooch, which I thought was funny.
Mm.
Yeah, they have a. It's like a wine cooler.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of all of these. Um, but scoops is the only one that's new.
Mm,
Me personally, anyway.
mhm. I think booze is very informal. I
Mm.
think that's a slang term that's, booze. Okay. Dressed and ready.
Mm.
Where are you going all dolled up? I have to
Hmm.
get my face on. I'm dressed and ready.
I've also heard decked out.
Ah, that's a good one.
We're all decked out.
We're all decked out.
Hmm.
Decked out. That is that. Oh, I guess it's not hyphenated. We're all decked out. Mm,
Hmm.
yeah, those are some expressions I've used.
Hmm.
I don't say I have to get my face on. I've never said that one though.
Mm.
Dressed and ready, decked out. Yeah, I would say that.
Hmm.
How about meeting up?
Yep.
Now in British English, um, how's the crack?
Creek.
What's the crake?
Mm. I have never heard what's shaken. I've heard what's shaking or what's shaken, as in like I and apostrophe.
Oh yeah, I was thinking that too when I wrote this out. I was like,
Uh,
is it shaken like that?
no,
What's shake?
shaking. What's going on?
Yeah, what's shaken? What's shaking? It can be
Eh,
shaking or shaken,
well, it's the slang, right?
right?
Shaken, shaking.
What's shaken?
There you go.
Mm. What's new? What's up?
Hmm.
I think everybody knows what's up or has heard
Sup.
of that. Sup? Oh, yeah. Let's do that one. That's another one. Sup? If you can't make it tomorrow, let me know.
Hmm.
If you're a sight for sore eyes. The last time I saw you was at graduation. I haven't seen you in a while. Sight for sore eyes.
So, according to an Irish viewer, it's pronounced crack.
I was right.
Okay, I'm glad I've made your day.
Yes.
Or should I say my Irish friend has made your day?
Did I get overly excited? That's because I'm rarely right.
I think you're in the wrong profession if you're rarely right, Ellie.
No, I mean about slang terms.
Okay.
Well, because I don't use a lot of slang, so
He adds it's very much Irish. So,
very Irish. Yeah, yeah. Okay. And I probably that's probably where I've heard it. I've been to Dublin, Ireland a few times. I've also been to the northern. I've been to Northern Ireland. Um,
oh, I need to go to Northern Ireland.
yeah, I
You
actually
know
stayed
why?
in a haunted bed and breakfast.
That's not why I want to go. You know why I want to go.
It was accident. It was an accident. Yeah,
Oh,
I know
okay.
why. I didn't know it was haunted at the time.
Wait. So it was like literally haunted. It wasn't like a gimmick. It was literally haunted.
Yeah, it was literally haunted.
Well, I feel
Yeah,
the same way about ghosts that I feel about aliens. So,
yeah, I know, I
kids, go
know,
watch that episode again.
I know. Well, let's just say I didn't go there because they said it was
Mhm.
haunted. I went there because it was a working farm, and I
Okay.
thought, oh, how great that would be to stay there. But
Mm.
I had sort of a spooky experience. And then we got to talking about it possibly being haunted, and it went from there. So anyway, that's another episode. That's it for another
Yeah.
time.
Okay.
Oh, so where do we leave off?
Gutted.
I'm really gutted that I can't go to the concert. Now I've heard that that's
Yeah.
a British term, gutted. You know, I'm gutted. He was gutted, right? And when I lived in Leeds, I heard this, and when they say it, that accent, that British accent, it
Mm.
sounds like they're really just, oh, I'm gutted. It's like the worst thing in the world. It's the stress of the sound
Yeah.
gutted. I'm really gutted.
I know it. I use it. And I think it's probably because like New England has really retained a lot of these traces of the colonial days. Like you still have a lot of small villages organized around the white church, and there's still that kind of like really local democracy kind of thing going on in parts of the New England. So I'd imagine that's where I got it from because it's still the kind of the dialect. But
Hmm. Hmm. Do you really stress gutted when you say it?
I've never thought of it. I
Oh,
just kind of say I'm gutted.
I'm gutted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I remember when I lived in Leeds, I heard that quite a bit, and when they said it, it was always I was gutted. They stress that gutted.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comment section below. Got it.
Mm.
The other one is, can I take a rain check? That one's a good one to know. Can I
Yep.
take a rain check? You can't do something, but you want to do something,
Let's
and
do
you
it
say,
again
"Can I
another
take
time.
a?" Yeah, let's do it again another time. Can I take a rain check? Yeah, yeah. And let's just play it by ear and see what happens. Um, I use that one quite a bit.
Yep.
Like if I'm going out with friends and they want to make plans, and it's like, let's just play it by ear. Let's see what happens. Um, any other situations you can use that? Let's play it by ear.
If the situation is uncertain or if you don't know what's happening,
Hmm. Hmm.
like it's like they want to commit, but oh, I might have something in the way.
Right. Let's just play it by ear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I I can't do live streams like that. Just to go online and just, hi, I'm doing a live stream and play it. Let's play it by ear. I I need a little bit of structure with
Hmm.
either a PPT or some notes or something, because I think I feel uncomfortable. I feel lost without it.
No, I get what you're saying. If I don't have some sort of idea, I just tend to ramble or it goes to places I don't want it to go. So
Oh, yeah, that too. Or tell something or say something and you can't take it back, right?
exactly, exactly.
Um, let's look at our next page. I think, yeah, let's look at our next one. Hungry. I could eat a horse.
Yep.
Have you ever said that? I could eat a horse?
I don't know if I've said it, but I've definitely heard it a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, you know, feel bad for the poor horsey though.
Yeah, I know. We pigged out on chips and popcorn. Pigged out. I
Hmm.
don't I don't think I've ever used that one. Maybe when I was younger I did. The cookies
Yeah.
were so good that I scoffed them all up quickly. Quick, it means to do something quickly. I
Hmm.
scoffed them all up. Scoffed. I scoffed.
Mm.
You gobbled up those cookies. Gobbled up.
Hmm.
In British English, they have the word gob. Like stuff
Yep.
your gob. Gob
Yep.
means
Shut,
mouth,
shut your
and so
gob.
yeah, so gobbled up to eat
Right.
quickly. So gob. I
Hmm.
I I think that's where that comes from. Gob.
Shall we be sure? Shall we check?
You can check. Gob.
It's
The first time I heard that when I was in the
gob or
UK, I thought, "What?
it's a
Your shut your gob?" is what I heard. Shut your gob, and I went,
17th
"What's
century,
a gob?"
probably from gob.
Yeah. I thought it had to do something with the turkey or bird or something with, I don't know. Maybe they
Um,
just gobble gobble.
no, I
Yeah. Okay. I'm one for one today. Yeah. Okay. The other one is wolfed down. Wolfed.
mhm.
Wolfed. I wolfed down my dinner.
Yes.
Usually I use that when I'm in a hurry.
Mhm. You
I
might want
wolf
to
down.
make sure that they can see though, Ellie.
Yeah. I wolf down. I wolf down something. I wolf down. Uh, and it's food. We don't use that for
Mhm.
drink, do we? I wolf down a cup of coffee. We don't say that.
Chugged. I would say
Sorry?
chug.
Chugged. Yeah.
Chug.
I
Yep.
chugged. Yeah, chugged. So we use wolfed and gobbled for food, but
Hmm.
we chugged. Yeah, I would
Hmm.
say that.
Hmm.
We say that at bars. Chug, chug, chug,
Oh
chug,
yeah.
chug.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh,
Or float it. And that's another one that means like drain it.
I chugged a
Six pack.
glass of milk. Okay. I'll say that even though I don't like beer. A
I
six
don't. I
pack.
don't either. I'm just saying that that's usually.
I chugged a six
That
pack.
that
Oh,
that's a
okay.
man that's going places.
And maybe not the best of places.
No. And I'm stuffed. I usually don't use it, but I know it. Actually, I used it just last night in a short story that I was doing. So it does come up, but I don't really say it.
Your friend from Ireland, maybe this person can tell us if they still use this to mean pregnant,
Which one?
stuffed. It was that,
I've
didn't it?
never heard this before.
Stuffed? Yeah, I'm pregnant, I'm stuffed.
Hmm. I
Okay, well,
mean,
maybe they'll let us know if that's a term that they used. Um, for some reason, I believe I heard that a while ago, a long
hmm.
time ago, when I was in Kent. I was in
Okay.
Kent, England, and I
Hmm.
remember saying I'm stuffed, and they thought, pregnant?
Hmm.
So correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay. No, we don't say that exact word.
Okay. Okay. I'm stuffed.
Mhm.
Ah, okay. See?
Yep.
Let's look at restaurants. Let's go Dutch. There you go. You pay yours, I'll pay mine. Let's go Dutch.
Hmm. I've heard
And
that.
it's you have to be careful with saying let's go Dutch
Mm-hmm.
because it means I'll pay for my stuff and
Mm-hmm.
you pay for your stuff. But if you say let's go 50-50, that means
Hmm.
they're going to split the bill in half. And you've got to be careful because if your friend orders a steak dinner and you order a salad,
Oops.
oops. And if you are on a budget and don't have a lot of money and they say, let's go 50-50, you better say, no, let's go Dutch. I got into trouble when I was younger with that. Didn't have a lot of money, went out with some friends, and they went 50-50. And uh,
Yeah, I always feel uncomfortable going out to dinner and they say it's on me. I don't
oh,
like that.
yeah, yeah. It's on me. Yeah, that's
Hmm.
another expression. It's on me, meaning I'll pay. Or
Yep.
my treat. My treat.
Yeah.
My treat. Um, the other one is did a runner. They did a runner. They left
Hmm.
without paying. They did a runner. I've never done a runner. Don't plan
Good.
on ever doing a runner.
Good.
I think
Actually, there's a comedy here where I haven't seen it, but it's a guy, he keeps doing runners and like he keeps working at new places in Prague and there's a bunch of restaurants and like nobody's managing to catch him because he's always just going to a new place.
really
Yeah.
the problem with that, I think, is that eventually he'll get caught.
Oh
And
yeah.
then if each of these restaurants form a complaint,
Hmm.
wouldn't that make his sentence longer? Like jail time if he went to jail.
It's a comedy.
No. Is it
Checks are very
is it
absurd.
is it is it is it a setup? Like do they plan these things? Is it not real? Is it
No, it's obviously it's fictional, but like from what I remember of what my students were telling me, it's like he just kind of does it once and he just kind of goes with it, and it kind of becomes the thrill of doing it.
I
And then I
see.
think he starts working as a waiter to try to throw people off the trail. And it gets very absurd.
I see.
I'll have
Okay.
to look up the name of the movie to see what it is.
The other one is I was blown away at the prices.
Oh yeah.
Now, if you use this, is it I was blown away at the prices, meaning wow, they were expensive, or wow, it was so cheap?
I've seen it used for both.
Right.
And my father was very fond of picking up the check and then looking like he had a stroke. He just thought he was funny, going ah! Like
That sounds like something my dad would do too.
oh yeah. Well, it was difficult because like I don't like asking my parents for money. It makes me feel like I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
And
me too.
there were a few times, especially when I just moved into Prague, where I had to ask them for money, and he would do the same thing, and it was always uncomfortable, even though he was just like, "Yeah, sure." So
I don't ask my dad for money. I did it once when I was in college, and my
yeah,
father's response was, "Don't ask me for money. I'm not a bank. I'm your father." So, and it was $20. I mean, it wasn't like a lot of money. I just needed 20 bucks. Speaking of
yeah,
slang, 20 bucks isn't a lot of money, but that was his response. I understand that,
yeah.
so that I was young and he didn't want me to be reliant upon him. He didn't want me to go, I need money. He
Mm-hmm.
didn't want me to get in that habit. So I've
Well, I didn't get
always
into
had a
that habit
job.
either.
And pardon?
I didn't want to get in that habit either.
Yeah,
I felt like it looked like I didn't know what I was doing,
yeah, yeah.
especially since oh, I want to be in New York. I want to be the big city guy. Oh, I need money, but no, I mean, he said he had no idea how I lived on my own in Manhattan on a single job, and he said he was impressed.
We do it.
Yeah,
If you want something bad enough, if there's a will, there's a way.
exactly.
Okay. I heard this in the UK, cheap as chips. Love when they say this. It was cheap
Sounds
as chips.
familiar. Sounds familiar.
Yeah, it was cheap as
Hmm.
chips. Love that. You better cool it with the alcohol. Cool it. Stop it.
Yeah,
Take it easy.
yeah.
Cool it with the alcohol.
And that can be just in not just food, just like cool it or stop it.
Right. Yeah. Like someone making a bunch of noises. Hey, hey, cool it.
Or yeah, exactly.
Go. So getting back to drinks,
Hmm.
um, uh, everyone has to put in $10 into the kitty, to collect the money beforehand.
Hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never done that. I've never.
Yeah, and I don't know Kitty. Till. I've heard Till. Till.
Till, till.
Till. It's like slang for like the cashier or the money pot.
Or hat.
That I've also
10,
heard. Yes.
put $10 into the hat. Yeah, I'll put down hat.
Hmm.
Till, that's like cash register.
Yeah, exactly. But I've heard that saying as well.
Okay. Um, down the hatch,
Hmm.
bottoms up.
Hmm.
She downed the drink in one go.
Yep. Another. That's also a woman going places.
Yeah, yeah. Again, not in all the best places. Yeah. So down the hatch, bottoms up. Um, all it means is to do
Yeah,
it
exactly.
quickly. Bottoms up. Um, there's a toast I used
Hmm.
to use. Uh, uh, Pass the teeth over the gum. Look out, Tum. Here it comes down the hatch.
I look. I heard something similar to that, but I can't remember the exact wording. But that wasn't the wording that it was.
So
The
pass
same
the
idea of like, look out all of your body parts I'm eating or drinking. That I did hear.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
again, pass the teeth over the gums. Look out, Tum. Here it comes
I heard
down the
stomach.
hatch.
That's what I remember. Stomach. I remember. Look out, stomach. Here it comes.
Look out, stomach. Here it comes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Tum is short for tummy.
Hmm.
So for students wanting to know, tum, tummy, stomach,
Yeah. I don't know why. I've always liked the word belly. I don't know why.
belly, yeah, or belly button.
Okay.
Belly button instead of
Hmm.
navel. Navel is I guess the formal term, navel.
Hmm.
Belly button. Belly button. Okay, if you've had too much to drink. Now notice too is negative when you we're talking about too much of something. It's a bad thing. So I'm wasted, I'm pissed, and I think you've had too many.
Mm-hmm. Or under the table.
Yeah. So, and under the table is another slang
Sorry,
term for
your face was like LEEXE has stopped working. It's looked like you're like, what?
under the table. My first thought was, well, I say under the table if you're paying someone under the table and not
Yes.
paying them so they pay taxes, and
Yeah.
it's I'm paying you under the table.
Mm-hmm.
Shh, don't tell the government.
Mm.
So when you said that, my brain went stir. But to drink someone under the table, I can drink you under the table, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it means I can drink more alcohol than
Exactly.
you. So if you wanted to say that, you could say, I can drink you under the table, meaning I can drink more alcohol than you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've heard of that too. Um, I wanted to get back to the express. I have a funny story about pissed.
Yeah.
I was in a pub in Kent, and the guy was sitting next to me, and he kept saying, "I'm pissed," and I said, "Pissed?" He says, "Yes. Why?" "I just am." "Why are you pissed?" I said, I'm pissed. And about what? Because in the US,
Yeah.
pissed means angry. So in my mind, I heard, I'm pissed. I'm angry.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I'm just angry. So that's what I heard.
British, yeah, British.
And I said, what are you pissed about? He goes, because I'm drinking too much beer. And then I said, well, if it's pissing you off, quit drinking the beer. I didn't know. I
I
didn't
mean,
know that I was making him drunk.
there probably are people whose every waking moment is how much they hate everything or everyone. So I wouldn't be
Well,
surprised if that was happening.
my friends were sitting there and they knew exactly what was happening. This
Right.
guy didn't know American English.
Mm-hmm.
The term "piss" meant angry, so he didn't know what was going on, and I didn't know what he was saying. And my friends did. My friends knew exactly. And
No,
one of my friends during this conversation said, "Looks like just like Laurel and Hardy," and I didn't get that right away.
yeah.
But apparently, it looked like something Laurel and Hardy. Who's on first, what's on
Oh, yeah.
second.
What
I
are you
don't
asking
know.
me for?
Yeah, what do you piss? Drinking the beer. What was pissing you off? Don't drink it. Oh yeah, that's hilarious. I didn't know. Okay, next one. Money. You can't talk about slang without talking about money.
Money, money, money.
Money, money, money. Okay. So he's tight with his money, or he's very stingy. Stingy is a good word with his money, right? Are you tight with your money?
Me?
Yeah.
I try to be. And then Lego releases like a 12,000 piece model of the Empire State Building. I am dreading that day
Uh-huh.
because they realize there's a market for giant real world sets, and I am dreading the day they either do one from New York or announce that they're doing Star Trek Lego, because that's going to be a very bad day for me.
I would say that I'm not stingy,
Mm-hmm.
but I do budget.
Yeah. If
I budget well.
if
I'm good
if
at
my bank
budgeting.
account goes below a certain level, I get nervous.
Yeah,
Even
such a
though
freak.
even though a third person will look at it and go, "Why are you getting nervous?" Welcome to anxiety.
um, uh, let's split the cost 50-50. We've talked about. She's a penny pincher. Yeah, I would say I'm a penny pincher. I like to save money. I like to save it and then spend it. Uh, so I can be a penny pincher. I'm broke most of the time. I was paid under the table. There's that expression again, under the table.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to rip me off. I was ripped off, and it's a scam.
Mm.
Um, Trying to think, when was the last time I was ripped off or scammed? I can't think of anything offhand.
My utterly terrible landlords in New York stole my security, but I mean that's the last time that ever happened to me.
Uh,
Yeah,
that
well
happened to me in Costa Rica.
okay. Well, they're pretty terrible people just in general. So,
Yeah. I'm a tidy person, clean and neat
hmm
and tidy. And when I left my apartment, and it was a house, I rented a
yeah,
house, uh, and it was new. I was the first renter to ever live there.
hmm
And they found one little, I had two dogs. They found a little scratch on the door that was there when I moved in, but they said that my dogs did it. And
that's
because of that, they kept my security deposit.
what happened to me. And they kept saying, "I am sorry," and I wish I emailed back to them. We usually say that when we mean it,
Mm, mm,
but that's what they do in New York. Is they get a hold of affordable housing, force people out, steal their security on the way, and then turn it into a luxury condo. And
mm,
that's why New York is in a really bad place right now.
mm.
And it makes me sad to look at it. But back to slang.
Back to slang. So all of these are negative things, right?
Yeah.
Well, paid under the table, that might be a good thing. uh,
Well, depends.
yeah, well, it
Not
depends.
government.
Depends on the situation. Yeah, yeah.
They would
I
be
don't
like, tell me more.
I don't recommend it.
Mm,
It ripped me off. I was ripped off. Um, uh, that one's useful to know. If you feel as though you got a bad deal, or it wasn't a fair thing that someone
hmm
did, or you bought something and
mm.
you realize that you paid way more than you should. Uh,
Oh,
I
okay. Yes, I did just get a. I've actually got scammed this weekend. Now that I
You
think of
did.
it. So there's like this little app game that I've been using, and I enjoyed it, but they pushed ads every 5 seconds, like they usually do. So I
Mm,
said, "All right, I'll throw you a couple of bucks. Just get rid of the ads." It went from auto playing the ads to let us play the ad. So, and there's been no difference in the volume. And I have left a review saying, yeah, this feels like a scam.
mm.
But it was just a couple of bucks. But
Well, I bought these. I bought huh,
ah,
I
you had,
disappeared.
okay, headphones is
I
fine.
bought some headphones,
Yep.
and I paid way too much for these.
Mm.
I'm hoping to return them and get my money
I,
back.
I remember a guy I knew in college who was so pleased with himself for getting something cheap in New York, and I asked him how he got it, and he said, "Oh, from the vendors." And I said, "Yeah, it's a scam. It's just a broke." He's like, "No, no, it's fine," and it broke the next day. So
Hopefully, he was able to get his money back.
he wasn't because he this was a college in Pennsylvania, but
All right.
no, it's like I was just very amused by this stuff because like people thought I liked New York a little too much, but I actually understood the city just fine and how it works, so I wasn't being fooled by scams.
Well, speaking about relationships,
Mm-hmm.
I told a funny joke to break the ice. Break the ice. We just sucked face all night.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't think people use these days. I haven't heard this in a long,
No.
long time. I think that's an old slang, and this is a
Mm-hmm.
perfect example of how slang can die out over time. When I was in high school, not that I'm that old, but when I was in high school, we said "suck face," but it was something that I think my dad's generation used that term more than than what we use today. I mean, what about snog? This is a
I'm
British
thinking
English
of
term.
British comedies like that. Thinking of
Yeah,
British comedies like that. And as for suck face, I don't remember ever hearing that. I remember suck it, as in, like I don't care or
yeah.
something I
E-
can't say that's
F you,
exactly. Thank
the
you.
F you.
Yeah, that. But no, I didn't really hear suck face or snog. Snog, I'm thinking British comedy, but like older ones like Monty Python or Faulty Towers or Red Dwarf.
Well, when I lived in the UK, I heard snog. Let's
Okay.
have a snog. They would say let's have a snog or
Hmm.
give us a snog or give me a. I was never give me a snog. It was like give us a snog or let's snog.
Hmm.
But it was always in the plural form. It was never give me a snog. It was always like give us a snog,
Hmm.
which I thought was kind of cute. Give us a snog. I was like, oh, yeah, it was cute. I think they still use that term. Let's check from our
Hmm.
our, our friends out there. Um,
Hmm.
Nog, is it still used? She wants to get married, but she's got cold feet. It means to be afraid of marriage,
Or anything.
or yeah, or anything. I was just about to say, or if you've got cold feet about starting a new job,
Commitment.
or yeah, some sort of commitment, some sort of long-term commitment, you might get cold feet.
Hmm.
He says he's not ready. That's a cop out. Cop out is a good one.
Hmm.
So if you're giving an excuse, you might say that's a cop out, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that and I've used it a couple of times.
Well, have you used cop out something that you've done?
Um, I don't remember the last time I've been accused of copping out, but I've accused like political figures and countries of copping out of things.
Ah, okay. And getting married is a big deal. Big deal can be used for other things too. Like it's a big deal to do something. For example, you started a YouTube channel. Congratulations.
Oh,
Yay.
yes.
And that's a big deal. You've done a video, and I thought your first video was fantastic. I enjoyed
Oh,
it
thank
very
you very
much.
much.
And if you're interested in history, I highly recommend going to your channel. Tell us the channel name and about your
Oh,
channel a little bit.
it's called Storied History, and it is just me doing like a 10-minute video about certain stories in history that I like because they're interesting, ironic, funny. My first story was about myself. My second one, which I really should finish and get posted because I wanted to do it bi-weekly, will be from New York history. But hopefully it'll go somewhere. Maybe hopefully it'll be as big as your channel, Ellie. Who knows?
Oh, I hope so too. It's a big deal that you started that.
No, well,
Now,
thank you.
if something is not a big deal, you can put in it's not a big deal. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was a few minutes late today.
Mm.
Not a big deal, right?
Yeah, I got scammed by an app game. It's not a big deal. It was a couple of
Big
bucks,
deal.
and now I've left them a nasty review calling them out for it. So,
All right. If you want today's PPT, you can go to EnglishFunZone.com and it's under the YouTube Extras tab. And you do have to sign up. Some of these things are free, some of these things you have to have a membership,
mhm.
and it's a way to support this channel. And
Don't need a
speaking of
penny.
supporting the channel, I just opened a store to get merch, but it's not live yet because I still haven't received the markups. I did a t-shirt and I did a cup and I had them send uh, one of each to me so I could see what it
Hmm.
looks like. And I don't want to make the store live until I see the actual t-shirt and the mug to make sure that it's not blurry. And I haven't received those yet. I was supposed to have it uh, on Friday, but it never arrived.
Hmm.
Something, yeah. So
If
some
we do the
some
if we do the mug for like confidence and motivation, it needs to be my photo from today's video stream.
okay,
Okay.
good.
I've never felt more calm, meditative, or confident looking at myself before today.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, that's good to hear.
Exactly. It is amazing.
So, so that's some news on the storefront.
Hmm.
Um, and I hope that you enjoyed today's live stream. Thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate that you're here watching this. And if you're watching this on the replay, thank you for watching and clicking on the video.
Yeah,
And Brad, thank you for being here as well.
of course. Where else would I be?
Remember, we do this every other Monday at 11:30 Central European Time. Thanks for watching, and until next time, my students, please keep practicing. Bye.